CBM math assessment for first grade. To prepare for the assessment, all you have to do is go to our CCS MTSS website and go to Risk Assessment Resources. On that page, if you scroll down a bit, you'll see the STAR Assessment Resources, and the last section there include the CBM measures. Now we have a document here that has the page of all the measures. They have math and reading CBMs, but as a district, we're just going to be using the CBMs for first grade math. But school psychologists may want to know that those are there in case you might want to use them for individual problem solving. But for the majority of us, we'll just be printing these two documents. They are numeral recognition student copy and quantity comparison. So just to give you an idea of what they look like, let's go to the numeral recognition. That is just pages of the materials that the students will look at to name numbers, for example, here for numeral recognition. And there's a form in the top right corner. And so from page to page, you'll just see the form. So I recommend just going ahead and printing the whole booklet because you'll be prompted for what form to use when you log into the assessment. Also, here is the quantity comparison. And you'll see it's just a page of student materials or pages of student materials to compare quantities, and the form is in the top right corner. Again, I would just complete this booklet for your first grade teachers and anyone that's going to be helping to complete the assessment. So once you have those, you're ready. And so let's go home. And from the home page, once you log into Renaissance, you'll see here under Assess Students, you'll see STAR CBM Math. We're going to click that, and we're going to click Record Book and Assessments. And you'll see your student list here. I only have one student. It starts with quantity comparison for that one I just practiced, so it says score pending. But anywhere you see those dots, you can assess. You can start with numeral recognition if you want. So I'm going to click there and click Start or Print Assessment. And then it will default to mixed format, which is the format we're using. So we'll click that. I don't think it's necessary to record. Click Next. And then click Begin Assessment. And then I'm going to read through the directions here. So the directions will pop up right here, and the teacher will say, I'm going to show you some numbers in a mixed up order. And I want you to tell me what we call each one. I want you to do your best work. And then give the paper form to the student and say, are you ready? And then click Begin and say, you may begin. You're going to point to the first numeral on the student form, and after the student responds, point to the next numeral. So you're going to guide them from number to number, and on your device, you're going to click on each incorrect response. If they're correct, you don't click anything. If it's incorrect, you click on your device. You're going to click Finish if the student completes the assessment in less than 1 minute. Otherwise, allow the student to continue until time expires and then say, stop, you worked hard, or give some other praise for their effort. Then you're going to click on the last numeral attempted and record observations. Some reminders here are, if a student self-corrects immediately, you may count it as correct. If a student hesitates after 3 seconds, say, give it your best try. If no response after 2 more seconds, say, try the next one, and mark this problem incorrect. During the assessment, click on each incorrect response. When the assessment's complete, click the last numeral attempted and record observation. So just a little scoring reminder here. Okay, so then you can click Begin. Give you a few seconds to get started. And then as the student names numbers, you're going to point, and you're just going to keep an eye on your device and pace yourself along as students name the numbers. If they get a number wrong, when they get to 57, you just click it, and that puts an X. And so the reason it's lighting up, I'm just moving my cursor along as the student reads the numbers, placing an X on the numbers that they miss. I'm going to pause as the timer counts down, and then I'll show you what to do to finish. Okay, and then you're going to get a sign that says click on the last example attempted. So let's say the student stopped here. So I'm going to click there. So it shows that these are the numbers that the student attempted. Then you can put if it's in person or remote, and then you can click done. And that's it. And I just practiced this one a minute ago. So we're going to see if it'll let me assess again. So I'm going to click here for the quantity comparison. Yeah. And I'm going to select mixed format and click next. And it's telling me to use form 20. So I'm going to use form 20 for this assessment and click begin. And the directions for quantity comparison, I'll read those to you. It says, I'm going to show you some boxes that have two numbers in them. I want you to tell me the larger number in each box. So if you see a box with a 3 and a 5, you would tell me 5, because 5 is more than 3. I want you to do your best work. Then you give the student the form and say, are you ready? Click begin and say, you may begin. Point to the first box on the student form. After the student's response, point to the next box. On your device, click each incorrect response. You can click finish if the student completes the assessment in less than 1 minute. Otherwise, allow the student to continue until time expires and say, stop, you worked hard, or give some other praise or effort. On the last problem attempted, or click on the last problem attempted, and record your observations. So reminders are, if immediate, count as correct, if they self-correct. For hesitations, after 3 seconds, say, give it your best try. And if they don't respond after 2 more seconds, say, try the next one and mark the problem incorrect. If the student names the larger number, then you count it as correct. If the student provides a number that's not in the pair, mark it as incorrect. During the assessment, click on each incorrect response, and when the assessment's complete, click on the last problem attempted and record observations. All right, so once we've read through the instructions and our reminders, click begin. And you'll see as I move my mouse, it highlights the rows and highlights the numbers. And so as you point to each box, and the student tells you which number is larger, if they get it correct, you just leave it blank. If they miss it, you click it. I'm going to pause until the last few seconds so you can see how to finish. Also, you can see here, there's a place to cancel the assessment or to pause if needed. So now we're getting into the last few seconds. You'll hear a little bell, and we'll click on the last item attempted. There's a place up here in the top corner to record notes, observation, and we'll click done. All right, and so you can see where it says score pending, where it's processing the score. It doesn't take very long for the score to populate, and it's color coded here to indicate risk. Okay, so those are the directions for administering the assessment, and there will be a separate video for how to interpret scoring for determining risk. It's very similar to other assessments we've used in the past, where colors indicate whether or not students are below the 40th percentile or above the 40th percentile to indicate risk. So I hope that this video is helpful. If you have any questions or need any support, please email me at ggold@clevelandcountyschools.org. Thanks.